They didn't ban this book because it was confusing. They banned it because it named names. Because the Book of Enoch describes angels who fell, angels who taught forbidden knowledge, and a version of the origin of evil that threatened the entire religious system being built. This wasn't just too strange, it was too dangerous. So they hid it for 1,500 years. What if I told you there's a missing chapter from the story of humanity, a book so foundational it was referenced in the New Testament, studied by the earliest followers of Jesus, and then intentionally buried for over 1,000 years? Why? Because the story it told about the real origin of evil didn't fit the official narrative being built. The powers that be decided its contents were too shocking and too disruptive. They didn't just disagree with it, they tried to erase it. But they failed. Today, we're opening that book, the Book of Enoch, to reveal the stunning account of cosmic rebellion and forbidden knowledge that they didn't want you to know. This isn't just a forgotten text, it's a piece of our history that challenges everything we've been told about good and evil. Let's cut straight into it. What exactly is the Book of Enoch? It's not a single book, but a collection of ancient Jewish apocalyptic texts attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, the man who, according to Genesis, walked with God and was taken from the earth. For centuries, this book was highly respected. In the period between the Old and New Testaments, it was widely read. Now here's the kicker: its influence is woven into early Christian thought. The New Testament's Epistle of Jude contains a passage that directly parallels a prophecy from Enoch. Early church fathers like Tertullian even argued for its inclusion in the Bible. To this day, the Book of Enoch is part of the official biblical canon of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, one of the world's oldest Christian communities. This fact alone proves it wasn't some fringe document. So, the question becomes unavoidable. If it was so influential, why was it cast out by almost every other branch of Judaism and Christianity? The answer begins with a story you think you know. Genesis, chapter 6, speaks cryptically of the sons of God who took human wives and fathered the Nephilim. It's a brief, haunting passage. The Book of Enoch takes those few verses and explodes them into a terrifying epic of cosmic treason, a version of the origin of sin so radical that it threatened to destabilize the entire theological framework religious authorities were building. They didn't just sideline a book, they tried to bury an idea. Forget what you think you know about the fall from grace. According to the Book of Enoch, the first great sin wasn't a stolen piece of fruit in a garden. It was a calculated cosmic rebellion that began in the heavens. The story starts with a legion of angels known as the Watchers, sent to earth to guide humanity. But as they watched, they began to lust after human women. Their leader, an angel named Samyaza, knew the gravity of the sin they were contemplating, but their desire was too strong. He proposed a pact. They would do it together, bound by an oath on Mount Hermon, so no single angel would take the blame. And so 200 of them descended, took human wives, and defiled themselves. This unholy union produced a monstrous offspring, the Nephilim. These weren't just tall men, they were ravenous giants. While some texts give an impossibly vast height, like 3,000 ells, which is likely a mistranslation, the picture the book paints is horrifying. They consumed all of mankind's resources. When that wasn't enough, they turned on humanity itself, devouring people and animals. The world was being unmade by these hybrid abominations. But the giants were only the physical manifestation of this sin. The deeper damage came from the secrets the Watchers shared, the forbidden knowledge of heaven. The birth of the Nephilim was terrifying, but the Watchers' true crime was teaching humanity the tools of its own corruption. The Book of Enoch meticulously lists which angel taught what. Number 1, the art of war. Azazel taught men how to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates. He revealed the secrets of metalworking. Before this, organized warfare didn't exist. By introducing weapons, Azazel gifted humanity the industrial capacity for slaughter. The book goes so far as to say, ascribe all sin to him. Number 2, the deception of cosmetics. This wasn't about simple aesthetics. It was about fostering seduction, vanity, and deception. Number 3, the secrets of sorcery. Armaros taught spellcraft, and others revealed root-cutting and incantations. Number 4, the mysteries of the cosmos. They taught astrology and the patterns of the stars, turning objects of creation into objects of worship. Think about that. The Watchers hijacked human development, giving humanity knowledge without wisdom and technology without morality. They didn't just sin with humanity, they taught humanity how to sin on an epic scale. As the world descended into chaos, the archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, reported the horrors to God. The judgment was swift and absolute. God declared a great flood would cleanse the earth. But first, the instigators had to be dealt with. The archangel Raphael was ordered to bind Azazel and cast him into darkness until the final day of judgment. Now here's where the story gets even more twisted. According to Enoch, the disembodied spirits of the dead Nephilim would remain on earth as evil spirits. This is a completely different origin for demons. This is where Enoch, the man, becomes the central figure. In a stunning reversal of power, the defeated Watchers begged Enoch, a mortal, to write a petition for forgiveness and present it to God. Enoch was lifted into the heavens, but the verdict was final. God said angels should intercede for humans, not humans for angels. So why was this book pushed out? Because admitting Enoch's story was valid means tearing down the simpler narrative that humanity's fall was solely due to Adam and Eve. Enoch offers a messier truth. Evil was introduced by rogue celestial beings. That narrative was far more difficult to govern. Secondly, the book's detailed angel names and hierarchies were seen as dangerous, like a manual for occult knowledge. Ultimately, the exclusion of the Book of Enoch was an act of narrative control. They weren't removing a myth, they were removing a threat. For nearly 1,500 years, the Book of Enoch was lost to the Western world. Then in the 1770s, Scottish explorer James Bruce journeyed into Ethiopia and returned with copies of it in Ge'ez. Then the Dead Sea Scrolls confirmed its authenticity. Multiple Aramaic fragments were found at Qumran. Since then, its influence has been undeniable. The Book of Enoch challenges the official narrative. It forces us to confront the possibility that the origin of evil was not a simple human mistake. What part of this story shocks you the most? Do you believe the Watchers were real beings, or is this a powerful allegory? Let me know your theories in the comments.